one way I would write the word insure over every door of every cottage. But unfortunately, Woody Allen said there are worse things in life than death. Have you ever spent an evening with an insurance salesman? That was a statement. So unfortunately, my parents shared the same opinion back in 1999 when I ran to my home and I said, I have an amazing opportunity. I was a student of Law University and I said, I want to be an insurance advisor. And they told me, are you crazy? This is not a profession. You have to stick to be a lawyer. So unfortunately, I was stubborn enough to stay in the profession and make an amazing career, like 20 years as an advisor and as a manager. And my mission from the first day, because I had this instinct, was how we can change the opinion of the society of our profession and how we can make them understand how important insurance is. So in 2009, I tried to gather a team of top experts in our field, from the field, and also some scientists from several fields. And for 6 years, we had a single purpose, to combine researches from existing researches, and we ran some of our own in order to understand all the challenges of our profession. The first one is that, to re-engineer them and address them in order to elevate our institution into new heights. So the first, our research indicated solutions in 3 directions. The one was science, the second innovation, and the third was technology. So the first huge challenge we have was with the human brain. So when I was a younger agent, everybody told me that people, they don't buy insurance because they lack of education or they lack of insurance awareness. So this is the case also. But we discovered some very interesting things. There are at least 6 brain defense mechanisms and functions of the brain that they don't let people to understand risk, accept risk, and cover risk. So the first thing is very difficult for the mind to accept something new, to change an opinion. If you add on this the confirmation bias and the prejudices that the people have for our profession, the optimistic bias that make our brain over-optimistic and ask if it's in a risk of suffering, the fear tolerance brain limit, I can tell you we should stop use fear in our consultancy methods right now. People cannot handle fear the way we think. And some other, but I can elaborate on that, and they trigger a negative chain reaction in the mind of the client, and he cannot understand the risk. So we reverse engineered everything, and we made a strategy and a whole new concept on how you can trigger a positive chain reaction, because you cannot deal with these functions one each time. You have to have a positive chain reaction in order to make the brain understand risk, accept risk, and cover risk. So this was a huge step ahead, because now we can have ways to make people understand, educate them about our profession, and we can skyrocket the closing ratio, we can solve the prospecting challenge, we can solve the cross-selling challenge, and the most important is that we can eliminate the fear of rejection for the newcomers, because it's the #1 reason that they leave the profession, because we can make them understand that the people, they don't reject them, the idea of insurance or whatever, but it's a natural resistance of the mind. So this is a huge risk. The second thing we did is that we tried to reinvent and re-engineer and rebrand the way we consult people. Because people, they think that we are salesperson. And sometimes they're right, we do act like salesperson. But if we try to advise them in another way, we do it in a subjective way, because we are trying to identify all the risks, and then we tell them what we think that they should cover subjectively, or the worst, we ask them what they want to cover. But this way, we are not the experts, we are not the scientific consultants. So what we did is we used the science, the risk management science, in order to build an innovative software that now we can, in a simple way, but scientific way, we can use some factors to measure risk, prioritize risk, quantify risk, and give him a risk profile that he can understand why he's taking wise decision, and he can be sure of his decision, and we can prove what we are saying. That's a different concept, it's a new perception. So we made the new career path the insurable risk management consultant, and we use this to give new tools to our agents, so now they feel they are more proud of what they represent, and also we make people understand why they're taking these decisions. And the last thing is that with this science, we manage to recruit millennials, because they now see that we are not an old-fashioned profession. We're a profession that we use innovation, we use technology, we use science, and they feel like they're scientific consultants and not salespersons. That was a huge step ahead also. And the last thing is that we use technology. Of course, today technology gives us amazing tools if we know how to utilize them. So we make a whole new strategy using technology and mostly internet tools, like we can prospect with webinar. It's a very cool new way to prospect. We can also prospect with chatbots, or we can use them to save time in order to service our clients or to approach new clients or to make prospecting. That's a whole new cool way to do that. And also, we have to attract the millennials to impress them with new ways, like teleconferences, because we can save time from traveling from one place to another. But the most important thing is that we can impress them even with VR meetings. You know, this headset, I have it together with me everywhere I go in the world. I can connect with my 4G mobile and I can make a VR meeting, a virtual reality meeting. I don't know who of you saw the virtual reality environment, how it is, but you can make meetings with this. And Bonnie can tell you, because we made this meeting to arrange this speech with virtual reality in a New York balcony, having a huge presentation wall in the sky. We can impress people with this, and we can make like presentations, insurance presentations with VR. I think it's cool. So if we utilize this technology, we can excel in technology, and we can impress young people, and we can attract them as clients, the millennials and the Generation Z, and also as consultants, because they will see that we are a great profession, an innovative one, and a new one. So this, we usually to take all these prizes, Colin told you, I don't want to tell again, but the most important is that we implemented this the last 4 years for 1,000 agents in Greece and Europe, and for the biggest French company in the Cypriot region, and we have these amazing staggering results. We have 70% raise on premiums in 3 years only. We had 120% raise on quality recruitment, talented young millennials that wouldn't consider our profession otherwise, and also we managed to have 80% raise on retention in the first 3 years. That's also a huge challenge for managers. Okay. So with all this, we combine this and we make this new strategy, a whole new strategy, a whole new perception of our profession. We reinvented the way that we manage people, we train them, we do it faster now, more effective. We need to make our people technology adept and effective and productive. And I think that we have to reshape our industry the next 100 years the way we led the industry in the previous 100 years. So we don't say adapt or die, that most people say. We say adapt and fly. That's a different concept because we have the positive now thing here. So utilizing technology, innovation, and science, we can make insurance great again. And the other thing is that we can make insurance cool for the generations to come. And also, if we can make these meetings and we can talk about innovation, the AARU and the Gamma, they're making these amazing initiatives, we can make this a reality. And I think, Houston, we have a solution here because you have to examine a solution because it's out of space. And we have also, you know, plan B. If this doesn't work, we will have the first restaurant in the moon. It will have great food, but not a great atmosphere. So thank you very much for your attention.